What is the barrier to that shift in hotels owning more of the distribution?
Well, different things, William. It's a very good question. I'll try to give you a simple answer. First of all, is market dynamics and the acceptance of the demand side. So again, on an airline, everyone understands that they might have paid a different ticket if you book very far in advance with no luggage and this and this and that, and non-refundable, and you get a very cheap fare. If you, on the other hand, book very last minute, you're going to get grilled, and you're going to have to pay a very high fare and so forth. People are not ready or not yet thinking on that way for hotels. That's one thing. The second thing is that the inability of the hotels to really move faster. Even though technology has become cheaper and it's more available, think about Moore's law, the double capacity that we get every 18 months at half the price. That's a good illustration, but also the democratization of that technology, the booking engines, the algorithms that in the past really made the moats that Expedia or Booking.com had. Those are no longer there, or if they are there, they're smaller than they were in the past. But still, hotels are lagging behind in putting those things into work. Then you have the regulation, the regulatory component, price parity, which is a big topic in Europe, especially, not as big in the US, is still a problem. Actually, even though some governments have legislated this, many hotels are still not able or not willing to break these parity clauses, which are no longer legal, but they still de facto exist, which play a pivotal role, especially when you put the metas as a light that is really amplifying this message. And by this, I mean the different prices that you get for the exact same room, for the exact same date, on the exact same hotel, right? So those are basically the reasons behind it, I would say. And also there's an interesting component, which is the hotelier's mind and the uniform system of accounts, which is kind of the general accounting rules that get used in the Anglo-Saxon world for hotels accounting. One thing is commission, and the other thing is marketing. So in many cases, when you're doing the budget for the year, you tell the CFO, I'm going to need 3 million for marketing this year. Fine, it gets approved, and everyone starts burning that budget throughout the year. And if it's June and you've exhausted those 3 million, you're going to have a hard time explaining why you need more. In many cases, the hotel chains are considering their website sales as SEM marketing because there's the marketing name in there. And that is really a commission, or you should consider it a commission when you compare it with alternative channels like Booking and Expedia. But the CFO doesn't ask at the beginning of the year, how much are you going to spend on Expedia or Booking commissions? You don't know. The more they sell, the higher the commission is going to be. But no one really cares about that. And that's what I mean by the difference between the marketing cost versus the distribution cost. And that comes not only from the mind, but also from the way the accounting is built in many cases. And that might seem as a simple thing, but it really prevents a lot direct distribution from really getting up to par with distribution. When you think about it, you should be pushing your own sales and your own distribution. First of all, if it's more profitable because of logical terms, because the GOP is going to be higher at the end of the year, but also because it gives you a wealth of information that the intermediation, in general, the intermediaries do not give you. There's an interesting fact that I realized when I started working for hotels about 2 years ago, having been on distribution and Google in the past, which is the client spends maybe, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, or 3 hours on the website where they book the hotel, right? And they complete the transaction, they give the name, the credit card, and that's it. But then that very traveler, in some cases, comes to our property. And in some cases, stays with us 2 weeks. We have a lot of longer stays for 2 weeks. And the minute that client walks out, we never got the email address.
Yeah.
Just think about it, right? This is just, it's insane.
Crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The email address, which is probably the most important component from an individual today, a valid email address, more important than a passport, at least for marketing purposes. It's something that is absolutely core and nuclear for an OTA. But the hotel doesn't really pay that much attention. And even though the client has been and has interacted with hotel manager, we sometimes know our clients by name and we see the children grow because they come every year, but we never took the time to collect those pivotal pieces of information like the email address to address them and talk to them on a one-to-one basis. Again, this is an anecdote, but it represents the lack of mentality that hotels and suppliers in general have had for many years when thinking, we think about the beach, the pool, the beautiful breakfast, the magnificent dinner and the lobster and the view and all of that. We are hotel people, but we don't really think about marketing or sales, right? And this is the problem. We are shifting now, and many companies are far advanced and others are lagging behind, but it's just not there. It's not in our DNA.